Hi guys, welcome to another garden tour. There's been a lot of changes, so today I'm very excited to show them all to you. Okay, so let's get straight into it. The lemon mint has quadrupled in size and is becoming a huge bush now, and the beans are big enough that we can actually start eating from them. And on the other side you have some really large beans. The zinnias have been suffering a bit with some disease. I had to cut a lot of their leaves. They haven't went to flower yet, but hopefully they will come. This is the echinacea, still growing but very slowly. And this is my red sorrel plantation. That's one patch, and then I have another patch over there. On the other hand, the marigolds are doing really good, and hopefully now they're gonna start attracting some pollinators, because a lot of other flowers are gonna be sprouting soon and they're gonna need pollinating. But the main problem that I have is this burrowing worms. So this is what's attacking my daisies and the zinnias. If you guys know any remedies for this, let me know in the comments, because you see this worm, they're just eating everything on the inside, and they're a pain in the butt to control by hand. Moving on, the oxeye daisies, as I said, I've removed a lot of leaves and I've discarded them. They have this burrowing worm in them, but still, hopefully they're gonna bounce back and produce some flowers. The verbena is doing quite good. Soon they're gonna come to flower as well. I got 2-3 of them, and the cosmos as well, quadrupled in size, waiting for the flower to come really soon. I think as soon as the flowers are going to start producing, I'm going to get a lot of predators and a lot of beneficial insects that are going to fight all my pests. Lastly, on this road we got the cauliflower, which is huge now. I think soon is going to start creating the cauliflower fruit itself. And I think the new thing that you guys are going to see today is this. So recently the guys came and cut all the grass around the building. So when I heard it, I just took a bag and went and took all the freshly cut grass and applied the mulch on top of all of my planters, because the leaves that I had before from winter, from autumn actually last year, started decomposing. So my soil was almost without a cover. So starting from this side, we have the San Marzanos tomatoes that have been growing tremendously thanks to the lactic acid bacteria that have been feeding everybody, and as well we have the mulch on the bottom, and this is going to keep a lot of water inside, moisture, and decompose and fertilize the land naturally. Also feed all of the bacteria and all of the bugs on the bottom, and they're going to convert the dead matter into nutrients. Inside here we got spinach growing. I have a couple of spinach plants, and you're going to see a lot of this curly stuff, which is my rainbow carrots. So I have them growing all over the place. Got some flowers here as well. I got some leftover flowers since I started them indoors, and honestly on the top planters I didn't have any space, so I'm popping all of my leftover plants in any free space that I have. Here I got some aubergine, long purple. This one is kicking off as well, and we've been eating out of this Swiss chard bush for the last 2 weeks now, and the more we take, the more it gives us. I mean, look at this. This is amazing, and you can see the stems that we already used, and they're just popping up new growth on the bottom here. I think you can see this. I have a lot of fungus gnats. Again, I'm waiting for the natural predators to come in and save the day. Moving on, I have a hot Bolivian pepper growing slowly, and cucumber plant that's starting to get back on its feet. It was suffering a couple of weeks back. Big bush of curly parsley. Again, we've been eating out of this bush for a while now, and it keeps shooting new growth from the bottom. That's amazing. More carrots. As you can see, I didn't get proper germination on this one, but we're gonna go to the next planter where we did have full germination. I think this specific type of rainbow carrot is a bit sensitive, so that's why I didn't get any. If you can see this is a shoot from the ginger roots that we planted a couple of days back, and it's already starting to come up. So that's a very good sign. The kale is doing very well, and my jalapeno plants as well. Really good growth. Got two of them next to each other, but that shouldn't be a problem because they're not very fussy about space. More carrots, and here I have a patch of alpine strawberries. They grow very small strawberries, but they're packed with flavor. You're gonna see a lot of this plants. I'm not gonna spoil the surprise for now. I've directly sown them a couple of days back, and probably in the next garden tour they're gonna be properly visible and you guys are gonna know what they are. Here I have another spinach plant, and this big bush. I mean, look at the stems. This is my golden sunburst tomatoes, two of them, which I have trellised, and with time they will go in different directions. This needs to be pruned soon, so I think I'm gonna do a video on pruning as well. Otherwise it's gonna take the oxygen and the sun from everything else on the bottom. Going on the next planter, I have the 3 sweet million plants that I've trellised already. Same, they grew a lot. This lactic acid bacteria is doing wonders for them. I mean, look at this healthy stems. They're the size of my finger. Same, we have the grass mulch on the bottom. That's making everything much better. And this is a lavender plant, actually 2 of them. So really excited for this to grow and make this place smell and look even better, and also attract a lot of pollinators. In this one we have a full row of germination, and this is a different variety. It's called Autumn King. But look at this growth, how lush and healthy it is. It is very populated, but that's not a problem. The soil is healthy and strong enough to sustain them, and also to move aside when they grow, so they evolve to the point where I can harvest them and still be healthy and big enough for consumption. Now next to the carrots, I have a thing that made me very happy to see. So a long time ago, like a month and a half ago, I've planted a second type of asparagus here in exactly this place, and it didn't come out and I gave up. But as soon as I added the mulch and I started watering stuff, it came. And I'm really happy and excited about this, because this is going to be the red asparagus stem when it's going to reach maturity. Going back a second, we have some more kale, the same like in the other planter, and behind it a different variety of kale. And look at this, it's huge. This one is called Nero di Toscana, and it grows more like a bush than the tree looking one. Next to the kale we have another patch of alpine strawberries. They like quadrupled inside as well. They were this small 2 weeks ago. And to the left of them we have the cucamelons, and if you remember in the last garden tour they were doing not that well, but look at them now. Look at this, look at all this growth. So faith restored. This one had literally 2 leaves last time we looked at them, and look at this now. I'm so happy that they're bouncing back. And the avocado plant, you remember how bad and ugly it was before, but this lactic acid bacteria is just doing wonders. Look at this, look at all this new growth. So in many ways I saved the avocado plant as well. Back on this side we have a nice patch of oregano, growing really well next to the cucumbers, and another kale plant, two kale plant actually, different varieties. So basically I have 3 different kale varieties, and this one is going to seed now. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just pluck this tip off, so I make the plant think that it's not ready to mature and go to seed. And this is a nice trick that's gonna keep any plant keep on growing the leaves if it's a leafy plant, like all your herbs or plants like spinach. If you pluck out the seed cluster, they will go back to producing leaves instead of producing seeds and maturing and dying eventually. To the left of that, I have my tiny forest full of experiment trees and another patch of alpine strawberries, a really nice bush of rosemary. Behind here we have some more citrus, so basically I have orange, pomelo, lemons, limes, they're all growing here. Let's see for how long. And I have another tomato here called chocolate stripes. It's not as big as the sweet million, which by the way is going to flower soon and start producing sweet tomatoes for me. But this is how the variety evolves. It's a bit of a later season one, so I'm sure that with the lactic acid bacteria and all the soil amendments, this is going to kick off very soon. And here again, some surprise plants. I'm not going to spoil what they are. I'll let you know as soon as they are visible. On top we have some peppers growing, and they're all hot Bolivians. So you know, this pot is going to produce a lot of hot Bolivians. I'm going to pickle them. And into the next one we have another jalapeno. You see a pattern here. We love our jalapenos, pickled, fresh, doesn't matter, we love them. And here we got the water hole for our good insects. So every time they come and they pollinate or they kill the pests, we want them to stay on our property as long as possible. And if we give them water and food, they will make a home for themselves. So this is always here full with fresh water for them. Okay. Next to the planter, we have our bucket of abundance, and the potato plants are slowly starting to show signs of flowering. And a good indicator with potatoes, if you want to harvest them early, is when they flower, it means that you have baby potatoes. So you can just break the bucket of abundance and get some baby potatoes. When the plant is going to start dying and wilting and is going to be end of its life, that's when you have the mature potatoes. If you want to get some baby potatoes, look for the flowers. If you want a full mature harvest, let it all finish its life cycle. But here we have the sole plant of sweet bell peppers. Oh man, the aphids are killing me. Can't wait for the ladybugs to come, because at the moment I'm just doing everything by hand. Really need those ladybugs and predator insects to come. Anyway, spring onion, sweet bell pepper, garlic, more spring onion, and the potato plants themselves. Same here, we got a deep layer of mulch, and I'm recycling everything. All of the leaves and everything that I'm pruning from them goes back into the circuit of life, so nothing goes to waste. No waste gardening. On the second windowsill we have some comfrey growing here. This is going to be part of my soil amendment for the future. Some surprise over there, and this is just a branch of the tomato plant below that I just broke by mistake, and I just wanted to see if it just rooted by itself. So I took it, put it in the soil without doing anything, keep it in the water or anything. That was 3 weeks ago. Look at it now, alive. Okay, next is the flower pot, and look at this borage, it's huge, and look at this flower cluster here. So probably next week this is gonna blossom and it's gonna attract a lot of pollinators. Here we have another bush of lemon mint, perfect for the summer now, and a bean plant, a dwarf bean plant, again making a lot of beans for us. Moving on, We're just gonna take the borage out of the picture straight away. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is directly sown and it's overtaken everything, by the way. Some zinnias, same like in the other planter, they're suffering from that leaf borer pest. The daisies as well. I've plucked all of the leaves that were affected by the leaf borer, but I don't know, man. I don't know. The zinnias and the daisies are suffering a lot from this pest. Marigold as well is suffering from this, but it's putting out more growth. I mean, look at this bastard. You see it? It's everywhere. Stay away from my plants. Apart from that, the marigolds are pumping up a lot of amazing flowers. They smell great. And lastly, we have another cauliflower plant. Look at this healthy, strong stem. That's growing very nicely as well. Below that windowsill planter, we have the zucchini plant that's going to produce more flowers soon. It already had about 5 flowers, but unfortunately we didn't have any pollinators, so it didn't produce any fruit, unfortunately. Next to it we have the Moscovich tomato, same like the chocolate striped one. It's a bit of a late bloomer, still grew a lot from the lactic acid bacteria, but is gonna mature slower than the cherry tomatoes. A really big, nice bush of oregano underneath. Oh man, it smells nice. Parsley. Here I have a gala apple seed, same as part of the tree experiment, and some dill in the back, though it doesn't look like dill, so I think I've been lied to, and this is some other herb instead of dill. Still early on in the development, so let's wait. On the other side here we have the first plant of asparagus, and the beauty of this is that as soon as I put the mulch on top, the leaf one, I got straight away 3 more asparagus shoots. So until now, for over a month and a half, I had only these 2 guys growing. As soon as I put the mulch down, 3 more came up. Amazing. Mulch your land, people. Anyway, moving on. Here we have cucumber growing nicely, and 2 more comfrey plants to take all of that nitrogen from the air and pump it into my soil. I have 2 aubergines here, the Black Beauty variety, next to each other, and all of this barren land that doesn't have anything growing has a lot of seeds and a lot of plants germinating underneath. As soon as I'm going to prune some stuff and trellis the cucumbers, the next generation of growth is going to come from all of these dead spots. Seriously, look at this. It's like actually 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have a bush of coriander. We keep eating from it for like a month now. A lot of spring onion. Got a cluster of spring onion here. And behind we got the Gold Rush tomato, cherry tomato. But look at this. Look at how bad my aphid infestation is. Look at this. I really need those ladybugs, man. Look at this. Because I really don't want to spray any chemicals, but this is taking a toll on my tomatoes, and this is stagnating their growth as well. If you guys know any organic natural remedies for aphids apart from ladybugs and predatory bugs, let me know. I need to do something quick. Moving on to the next planter, we have a very big and lush kale plant, and I've done the same to this one. I've plucked the seed cluster 2 weeks back, and look at how much new growth it has because of that. Next to it, another kale plant and some parsley, some more kale here, have a kale forest, kale and parsley forest, kale, and tomato legend. This is going to be actually the only large size tomato that I'm growing this year. Everything else is medium or small. And this big dark green bush is mint, and every time you run your hands through it, it eliminates those essential oils and makes it smell amazing. You should plant this on your windowsill. It grows so easy, it doesn't need any maintenance, and you can just add it. You can make teas, you can add it to tinctures, you can use it in many ways. And as you know from the early episodes, I am the crazy oak guy. So I have an oak tree growing here, and the first one that I planted and didn't do so well, now is starting to sprout some new green shoots. So that's a very good sign. 2 cucumber plants here, some dill growing in this small patch here next to some more kale. Here we have 4 season strawberries. Don't know if they're gonna produce anything this year. They keep on growing a lot of leaves, but I don't see any strawberries coming out, so that's not very nice. Let's see, keep the faith. Here we got some more aubergine, black beauty, some volunteers here. I don't know, they look like tomatoes. I'm not gonna pluck anything for now, but they look like tomato plants. Here probably is finally the basil coming out, not sure yet. Let's let it grow for a while and see. My last tomato plant called Azoichka, the yellow variety, same late season, cold hardy. It's growing really nice, doesn't have such a big aphid problem like the last one, but still aphids are this year they're giving me a lot of white hair and they're pushing me around, they're bullying me. The aphids are bullying me. Anyway, some trees. This is a, I don't know what this is. That's the name. This is I don't know what it is. This is a lemon tree that I'm growing, and this is a locust tree. So I think this is the only tree that actually survived the batch of trees that I've planted indoors early on in February. But it's good because if it grows, locust trees are nitrogen fixers, same like comfrey, so that's going to make this planter and the one with the comfrey really strong and high in nitrogen. As well as in the other planters, all of this dead space when there's nothing growing, there's ginger planted there, there's other herbs like basil and dill. There's a lot of stuff coming up from below. Even the surprise plants, what you've seen is just like 5% of what I've planted. As soon as these tomatoes and the cucumbers are going to be trellised and going up, it's going to release a lot of real estate down below where I can keep growing a lot of stuff. Okay, the next thing that I want to share with you guys is something very useful, especially if you plan on growing specific type of plants and fruits, and that's sun. Where I live, I have a limited amount of sun hours per day, and in order to know exactly how much I have per season, because in spring and late autumn you have less, in the winter you have the lowest, and in midsummer you have the most amount of hours, you can use technology in your advantage. What I'm using is an app called Sun Calc, and it's available for free for Android and for iOS. But by using these apps, you can put in your location, the angle, and the time of the year, so you know exactly how much sun you're going to get in those situations. So I know that now in the beginning of summer and in the middle of it, I'm going to get about 6 hours of sun in this place where I have my planter garden. That's east, and that way is south. If this building was facing south, I would get sun all over the day, but because it's not, I'm getting from this edge of the trees, which is about 6 a.m. until the sun reaches that corner of the building. That gives me 6 hours. Between 6 a.m. and about 10:30, 12, I'm getting only 6 hours of sunlight. And when the sun moves into that corner, which is about 10:30, these two planters here and this one, they're not getting any more sun. But until the sun reaches the corner of the building and fully disappears, this side of my planters get full sun. So the guys here get 6 hours of sun, while the other ones over there get about 4 to maximum 5 hours in full summertime. If you're only getting 2 or 3 hours sun a day, you can plant crops that don't need a lot of sun, which I should have done on that side. And here where I'm getting 6 hours, and you see all of this growth from the sun and photosynthesis, you can plant your summer crops that need a lot of sun and thrive with a lot of photosynthesis. I hope you guys liked this video and you found it useful. If you did, like, comment, subscribe and hit that bell so we stay connected, and see you in the next video.